Howdy, welcome to the channel. So for those new here, my name's Kyle. I do everything rock related. And for those that are not new here, welcome back. Today we are going to go ahead and polish a fossilized pine cone from Morocco with a Foredom. Let's get to work. All right, first things first, what is a Foredom for those that don't know? A Foredom is a fancy Dremel on steroids. It's pretty beefy. Typically, your normal Dremels are, all the components are in the handpiece. And when you're doing a lot of stuff that requires water, you don't want to have water mixed with electrical components. It's kind of a little bit of a hazard. So the Foredoms, that's where they kind of have the big one up, because the motor is separate from the handpiece. It controls the handpiece by the flex shaft here, which these do require a little bit of a maintenance as far as like using grease to make sure that these are nice greased up. But typically, these are great for working around water because we don't want to get shocked. And another one up is that these motors have a foot control pedal, so you can go as slow or as fast as you want. So that's fun. But yeah, that's kind of the what a Foredom is in a nutshell. They're really fancy tools. They can be used anything from rock related to wood related to just basic art and crafts for whatever you want to sculpt with, tools. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get things set up here. I'm going to go over kind of what we have going on here. We're going to polish this right here. This is a little agatized fossilized pine cone from Morocco. So we're going to do like a little face polish on this one. Just kind of show the different bits that we have. So we have a different variety of diamond bits. I got these from Harbor Freight. Of course, I can't open this one-handed, but you get the idea. Harbor Freight diamond bits. I have also other miscellaneous diamond bits here. And then, of course, we have Diamond Pacific Nova points, which these are going to be the more, polishing, finishing bits that we're going to use. And then as far as what I'm using to cool what I'm doing, because we don't want to create dust, and we want to keep the bits, lubricated with water, I use a water pump, and what I do is I have just container water here, and of course I have a Shamwow to kind of help absorb the water, so I can just dump it elsewhere. I have one, of course it's not turned on right now, one of the pumps is actually relieving the pressure of water back into the tray, so the pump is not being overworked, and it isn't, it's not being built up as far as like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's basically, it relieves the pressure from the pump. So this one's open full blast, and then I open this one just a little bit to allow a little water in. Of course, I'll fix that here in a second. But I have just a little bit of a fairly like medium drip on my project. I'll fix that. But that's kind of my setup here. I do have a containment system I want to make as far as like when I'm using the Foredom, because this will create splatter. You can kind of see a little bit of a splatter right there. See that little splatter that goes up and up? So this can create a little bit of a splatter. So you really have to watch kind of where you're working with this if you're using a lot of water. But let's go ahead and get everyone on the stand here and get to work. I think we're going to sand down this surface right here and get this polished up. So Harbor Freight does, and this is not sponsored by the way, you can also get these on Amazon as well. But you can get these little cheap diamond tools, and sometimes they last a while, sometimes they don't. It's really hit or miss. But, they're not bad for the price. I think I might just use this one right here. Yeah, I'll use this one. Okay, which way are we spinning? Perfect. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn on our drip here. Just a little bit. We don't want too much because then we're going to flood our tray. Just a little bit of a drip is fine. A little bit less than that. Perfect. Alright. Awesome. Alright, I have my drip set up. Of course, we can still see the drip here in the camera, but I have it focused here on the pine cone. So we're just going to, use the diamond bit, and we're going to have somewhat of a fluid motion the best we can, and keep the bit moving, so we can just kind of expose the surface here. There is something I want to note here. When you are working with diamond tools and you start working in one direction, keep working in that same direction that you started with. Because if you start with one direction and start working in another direction, you're going to create what's called little crisscross patterns when you want to try to go to polish. And they will show up. You will see them. So always keep working in the same direction. Another helpful tip is when you are working the stone, always kind of watch your edges unless you mean to carve into it. If you're working the stone and you accidentally catch the edge, you're gonna have to end up working that down, and you don't want little nicks in your surface unless you're purposely trying to carve something. Then you can use the edges to kind of make little grooves or whatever you want to do. But today we're just doing a basic little surface polish here. And then, so watch your edges. Otherwise, you're going to make yourself a little bit more work. It's also important to note that when you're working the stone to keep the bit moving, because if you stop, you're going to cause what's called a little facet, like a little flat spot on your working surface, if you're planning for a dome surface, that is. So you always have to keep the bit moving, because this is more for shaping rather than polishing. But when you go to polish, you're going to see like little divots and stuff, and you don't want that. Always keep the diamond bit moving. Now that we're done with grinding away the surface here, so this is our ground down surface, this is the natural surface here. I take this time to kind of look over the surface, look for any like gouge marks from the grinding process, and I didn't see any. So it helps to have the stone fairly dry. Of course, I got a little bit of wet there, but that's okay. The next step is going to be using the Diamond Pacific Nova points. So this not sponsored. I use their Nova wheels for my cabbing machines, and so the Nova points are basically the same thing, just a little smaller. Whoosh. So for the Nova points, it should be here. Yep, okay. So here is the color coding system. We have the black, we have the brown, gray, and we have the rose. So we have 280 grit, 600, 1200, 3000. And we are going to try to use Cerium Oxide for the polishing stage, depending on how it looks after the 3000. But we're going to do this one right here. So this is the 280 grit. Fair warning, if you do invest in some Nova points, the lower grits tend to wear out faster than the higher grits. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're buying some of these Nova points. Make sure it's nice and tight. We're not going to go anywhere. Perfect. Same thing. We're going to use a lot of water. And now we're going to zoom in. Same thing as before. We're going to work in the same direction that we have been. Keep the bit moving in a nice fluid motion on, over the entire working surface. And don't hesitate from time to time to dry off your stone. Check on the progress and kind of see where it is on the sanding process. And then once you think you are done, then you go to the next stage. But we're going to go ahead and do this for a little bit, and I'll kind of show you what I mean. So we're going to go ahead and dry the stone off really quick. I'm going to try to do like half of it so you can kind of get an idea of like what it looks like before and after. So I'll try to do that really quick. All right, doing that just briefly, we can already see, this is the side that we worked on just for just a little bit. To show this could take a little while. So this is not a fast process. You just got to be very patient. Eventually you'll get all these grinding marks out. But just keep working in a fluid motion, because this is what it looked like kind of before, and this is what it looks like working it just a little bit. So we're going to work a little bit longer, and I'm going to go ahead and just work on the entire surface of the stone to really get that all those deep scratches out. And to check your work, all you gotta do is dry the stone off, either with your hand or with a towel, and just blow on the stone. And that will kind of show you kind of where you're at. Now we're nowhere near close, but it's looking better already. So let's keep at it, and then I'll show you what it looks like after this step. Hopefully my laptop's not messed up. Oh no. Alrighty then. So this is after the 280 grit Nova point. We are ready to go on to the 600 grit. And the 600 grit will just further smooth out the surface, get rid of any scratches from the 280 grit, and then from there go to 1200. So same process as before. Use plenty of water, keep a fluid motion, and to keep working in the same up-down direction that we have been. 600 grit is the brown point. Come on, there we go. Perfect. Try to use as much of the Nova point the best you can, because similar to any kind of grinding wheel, if you just use one spot, you're going to cause a wear out in that one particular spot of the point, and you really don't want that. You want to kind of try to utilize as much of the working surface the best you can to effectively prolong the life of the bit. Here's our finished surface after the 600 grit Nova point. One thing I didn't explain before was you also want to be blending as you're going. More specifically, if you're doing like a one side rough, one side polished type deal. If you're making a cab or you're doing something else, it's not really going to matter. But when you're doing kind of like this kind of two-tone, like rough finish type deal, you want to blend it. And by blending, I mean this entire time, like when I got done with the diamond carving bit, I went through with the 280, and I went a little bit past that. And now with the 600 grit point, I went just a hair past that. And by the time I get to, the 1200, 3000, this area will be blended. So that way we shouldn't, in theory, see any grinding marks here on the edge. So let's go ahead and get the 1200 Nova point on and do the same process. Again, fluid motions, keeping it moving, and working in the same direction that we have been. Here is the finish after the 1200 grit. Let's go ahead and get the 3000 grit on there and see what it looks like, and see if we need to take it any further past that. Here's the pinecone after the 3000 grit Nova point. It does have a nice shine on it. To me, it looks a little waxy. So I would like to take it a step further, and we're going to use this kind of like felt point with some Cerium Oxide. I have not done this before with Cerium Oxide. Typically I use a carpet wheel for all the polishing, but since I am using nothing but a Foredom from start to finish, since not everyone has space for all the equipment, we're going to try this and see how it turns out. So kind of keep in mind of what it looks like now versus what it will look like when we get done. So let's go ahead and get this on the Foredom. I already have some Cerium Oxide paste here. This is Gordon Glass Company. I don't have the label on there. But yeah, this is Gordon Glass Company, Cerium Oxide. We'll get this on the felt. We're going to use it at a slow RPM because if I go any faster, this is going to leave a huge mess. So let's get this all checked in. Get some Cerium Oxide on here. Yeah, this is going to get messy. That's okay. Well, that's still too fast. There we go. So the trick with Cerium Oxide is adding enough pressure on there so the Cerium Oxide can really do its job. I never used the Cerium Oxide with felt before, so this is kind of going to be rather interesting. But I got some water here, a little spritz. That would keep the stone from drying out too much, because once the Cerium Oxide dries out, it's kind of a pain to clean up. So I'm going to And don't be afraid to check it every so often. So we're going to kind of zoom in, see what it looks like. This is just a quick... It's already looking actually better. Didn't take too long. So we're going to keep at it, I think. You can never spend too much time on the polishing process. Just keep an eye on the heat and how dry the stone gets. Because again, cleaning this up is going to be the next process, and if it gets too dry, it can take a while. So I'm going to go over this a little bit more, and we'll come back when we're done. It looks way better after the Cerium Oxide. However, we have some Cerium Oxide in these cracks and crevices. So we're going to use this tool right here. This is a Textile cleaning gun. It's powered by electricity, and it's pretty strong. So if you do happen to get one of these, keep an eye on your fingers and how close you are to the stream of the water, because it is a little powerful. It will sting a little bit, if not a little worse. So we don't get too close to it because this is pretty strong. So I'm going to kind of back off a little bit, and then I'm just going to do a little. Man, even with the gloves, it hurts. Little taps. And look, see the Cerium Oxide that was kind of trapped in there? So I'm going to do little taps without hitting my fingers. Great. I'm trying to be careful because this is a pine cone, and some of these do have fractures on the inside, so this can potentially break a stone if you're not careful. Hopefully we don't show that here today, because I put a lot of time into getting this thing polished. Alright, here is the pine cone. This is the unfinished side, so we can get a rough idea of what it looked like beforehand. And we just flip it over, and that is our finished side, using nothing but a Foredom and the various Nova points and the felt pad with Cerium Oxide to do the finish. Now, this is not a AAA grade polish. I would call this like a B grade polish, give or take. But I think it turned out really nice. I like all the little detail in there. So I am going to show you one more thing with these pine cones. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to turn off the light. I have a Longwave 365 nanometer UVBeast, not sponsored, but I will have links to everything that I used in this video in the description. So let's go ahead and turn off this light and then turn on the Longwave light. Look at that. I love these pine cones. They are too cool. They are so cool. Oh my gosh. But we're not going to stop there. I also have a 255 shortwave light, and so I'm going to turn off the long wave, and we're going to bring over the shortwave, and look at that. There's the rough side, and there is the finished side. Look at the details in that. Let me know what you thought of this process in the comment section down below. Wow, that's so cool. That's so cool. Overall, I'm happy with how this turned out, and this can now replace my first ever Foredom video when I first started this channel. If you want to do stuff like this from the comfort of your own home, but you don't want to have to really invest in like big pieces of cabbing equipment or polishing wheels, and you want to be space savvy anyways, well, this is where I got you covered. Go in the description of this video. I'll have links to everything. Some might be affiliate links, some may not. Just do know if you do click an affiliate link, it does help out the channel, and I'm really grateful for it because it allows me to keep making free content for everyone that wants to learn how to polish rocks. So go out there, get your equipment, and start polishing. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Rock on.